Hi everyone, it's Jessica back with another video. Today's topic is snow plowing 101. You're probably thinking, what does this chick possibly know about snow plowing? Well, if you would like to know and if you're interested in the topic of snow plowing, keep watching. Be sure to give me a subscribe and like this video, and stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay, so like I said, today's topic is snow plowing 101. Specifically, this video is for wives of entrepreneurs who are thinking about snow plowing or adding it to, what they do. Maybe they need to make some extra money in the winter, so they want to do snow plowing. They're thinking about it. Or also could be for newbies, guys that have never plowed snow before, but they're thinking about it. So I wanted to do this video because snow plowing is an extremely hard job, and it's a job that requires a lot of hard work. It causes a lot of stress. It's very stressful, and there's less sacrifices that come along with plowing snow. So if you're thinking about plowing snow, or your husband's thinking about plowing snow, you want to watch this video. Okay, so let's move right into it. So I want to talk a little bit about what happened the last weekend, which was that we got our first big storm. It is mid-January. It's January 22nd. So we usually get a storm by now. Last winter we were we had storm after storm after storm. But this winter we literally had got like less than an inch of snow the entire winter. And so we finally got our first big storm. Here where I live, we got like 6 inches of snow. My husband plows like an hour away from where we live, and they only got like between 2 and 3 inches. He does commercial plowing, so he does apartment complexes and businesses. We have 2 plows, 1 salter. So he left Saturday a.m., 2 a.m., about 2:15 a.m. to drive out there because it was supposed to start in the middle of the night. So he wants to get an early, start out there. Now, mind you, he had went to bed at 9:30, but he couldn't fall asleep till 11:30. So he's running on about 2.5 hours of sleep, okay? So he goes out. He was out for until 3 a.m. the next morning, Sunday morning. So that was, about 25 hours of being awake on only 2.5 hours of sleep, okay? So then he woke up, I don't know, like 11-ish maybe the next day, was up for a few hours, and then took a nap for a couple more hours. Now, typically what happens when you have a snowstorm? Usually that's followed by more snow or ice or something like that. There's not usually just a snowstorm and then that's it. And then, and that's what's happening. So, or even if there isn't a following snowstorm, you still have to go out again to like do kind of like a cleanup and salting, because if there's snow and it melts and then it gets cold again, it's going to freeze and there's going to be ice. Of course, when you're doing business commercial snow plowing, they don't want any injuries, especially in apartments, because they're liable for that. They need to keep their sidewalks and their parking lots clean. So so Sunday he was up for a few, he took a nap, yada, yada, yada. Then Sunday night, he stayed up too late. Because he had to get up at 5 a.m. the next morning to go salt. So that was Monday. Monday, he got up and went salting. He was up and out all day. I'm not really sure why it took him so long. But he wasn't out all day. He was out until the afternoon, like 2 or something. And he took a nap. And I'm trying to think, what's today? Okay, so today's Tuesday, so that was yesterday. So my dad last night kept saying we were at a birthday dinner. Yeah, I hear it's supposed to snow tomorrow. I hear it's supposed to snow, and my husband's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And then today we wake up and yeah, sure enough, it's supposed to snow. So today he was out. Last night he was just exhausted. Fell asleep, you know. And today he was out prepping for tonight. So running around, he told me he rested. He couldn't fall asleep though. This is also a problem that you have with plowing snow, because you know it's coming and you know when you need to leave, or maybe you don't because the weather keeps changing, but you have an idea, right? And so you lay down to rest, but you're anxious. It's just like when you're excited about something and you can't sleep. Well, you're anxious because you know it's coming, so you can't sleep. So he has that problem a lot. So then he's super tired when he, goes out. So he's out now. It's almost 10 o'clock, or it's like 9:30. So when did he leave? I talked to him around 4, and he had just left the house. And then I talked to him an hour ago. He said it was just, because we're supposed to get kind of like a wintry mix tonight. So he said it was just icing there. So it's supposed to be like ice and sleet and snow all mixed together, but it's supposed to happen like all night long. So we'll see what happens. He kind of has to wait around now. That's another thing. Like, you might get some snow and then it stops, but then you're stuck. You just kind of have to wait and see, like, okay, is it going to keep snowing? So anyways, so that kind of gives you an idea, of what happens. And so I wanted to talk about the physical effects that this can have on a person, because it's very serious. When you're working, when your body goes for 24 hours, or once you hit 24 hours without sleep, these are the following things start happening to your body. Okay, your judgment, your memory, your decision making are all affected. You have a decline in eye and hand coordination. You're more emotional. You have decreased attention, and your hearing is impaired. At 36 hours of no sleep, it affects you physically in terms of your there's certain things in your bloodstream that can lead to high blood pressure and cardiac problems if this continues happening, and your hormones are affected. I mean, there's more obviously that continues to happen the more sleep, but I'm just going over but so this is very dangerous, right? I read before too that it's like, after 24 hours, it's like basically you're drunk, okay? But like even more than being drunk, so it's even worse. It's like, so this is very dangerous, but even more so when you're plowing snow. Obviously you're driving a large vehicle with a plow attached to it in the ice and the snow, and yet your hand-eye coordination, your judgment, your decision-making, your attention is all affected negatively, obviously. And I can totally attest to this, because once he's been out for a certain amount of time and he's been awake and he's been working, and I call him and I talk to him, he's like, his brain is so scattered. We'll say something to each other, and then he will not, like 30 seconds later, know what we were just talking about. He will not remember it. He will be like, or he'll say something like, we just talked about what? Huh? Very distracted, just, and very irritable, like he was very irritable on Sunday. He would tell you that he wasn't, but he was, and I know it was because he was exhausted. I mean, he had the black just under his eyes. But anyways, so he also has hallucinated before. Because there's been, I think the longest he's been up is almost 40 hours straight. And he'll call me and say, talk to me. I'm driving home. I'm hallucinating. I'm seeing this, I'm that. So it can be really scary. So those are the physical effects of the snow plowing. Now, what kind of effects does this have on the family? Okay. Well, obviously, the whole time that he is gone, I'm on my own with the kids. Okay. But that's not going to stop when he gets back, because when he gets back, he's got to rest. And, you know, you better let that man rest. If you have a man that does snow plowing and he comes home, you better not be bugging him. You better be letting him sleep, because can you imagine being out that long without sleep and working? I can't imagine it. So you should expect that the snowstorm's going to take up to 2 to 3 days, because with them being gone, then coming home and rest, then doing their cleanup, it's going to be a good solid 2 to 3 days. And I'm not talking like a 12-hour day. I'm talking like 24-hour actual day of where they cannot help you with the kids or around the house, or like Sunday, when I said, finally when he was done with his nap and I was like, look, you've got to do something with the kids. I've got to do this. I mean, literally all he did was sit on the couch. I mean, the kids sat with him and played with him, but he just sat there. He was so tired, and I didn't expect him to do anything more than that. Now back-to-back snowstorms are horrible. Absolutely horrible. Just horrible. So as a wife, you can get annoyed by this, because you're like, oh my gosh, the kids are driving me crazy. I've been by myself. I haven't had my husband with me. I haven't been able to talk to him. I haven't been able to see him or spend time with him. But even the kids, though the kids might be driving you crazy, or you might be cooped up inside the house with them because you don't want to go out in the snow, you got to think, how can I support him? How can I support him through this time? Because this is very difficult. It's a very difficult occupation. So the best thing you can do is to let your husband sleep as much as possible, because he has got to try to get that. You can't get that back. You can't get that sleep back that you lost. That's the thing, right? You can't get it back. It doesn't matter if you sleep 12 hours the next day. You ain't getting that 12 hours you lost the night before, or however much it is. Feed him, make him his favorite meal, or make sure he has food when he gets home. Just ask him what he needs. Just let him relax. Try not to complain about the kids, even though they might be driving you nuts. He doesn't want to hear about it. Try not to complain. Try to just, even though you're probably exhausted yourself from doing everything in the house by yourself, and maybe working too, right? You're probably working too, so you're exhausted too, but you have at least got to sleep some, hopefully. So, the quicker he gets rested, the better it is for everyone in the house. So, I hope you guys found this video informational and helpful. In the case that your husband is thinking of going into snow plowing, or you're a newbie and you're thinking of going into snow plowing, think about the stresses and the implications and all of the things that go into it before making that commitment. Because if you are not able to do that, if you're not able to stay up for long periods of time, this is not for you. So thanks for watching, and please give me a comment. Let me know, have you been through this? Does your husband do snow plowing? Do you do snow plowing? Did you like the video? Any suggestions? Any questions? And give me a like. Thanks for watching. See you on my next video. Bye.